Hi, I'm Milton Kane, Christians for Community. Affordable housing is something which is a buzzword all the time on various politicians' lips. And yet, do they know what they're talking about? They don't talk about numbers. They don't talk about the dollars. The reality is simple. A person on unemployment benefits, a single person on unemployment benefits, without any additional income, they need to have, if it's just a room for around about $85 a week. Even in a share house situation in and around most places in New South Wales, you would be battling to find a place which you could divide up so the person could have a bedroom and other shared resources for a number anywhere close to $85 a week. And they say they're going to have some affordable housing, but they have not determined what is meant by it. Sure, it is great that the government does in fact subsidise people by giving them a bit of a grant towards their housing under certain circumstances. That's great, but that's not making housing affordable. The grant proves, the need for the grant proves, housing is not affordable. As a young fella leaving school, I found it very easy to be able to find affordable housing. A former Prime Minister in this country, Robert Menzies, said that affordable housing, or he said that housing rather, should be between 20 and 25% of your income. That's where affordable housing sits. One of the problems we have today is if an unemployed person wants to find housing, may have to spend somewhere around about 80% of their unemployment benefit on housing. That means 20% of the money they get from unemployment is left over to buy their food, their transport, to pay for their utilities, and hopefully to try and look for a job. I don't think that's affordable at all, but that's where we're at. It should be around about 20-25% of their income. Why is it so? Well, if we have a look at New South Wales alone, we actually have a stamp duty on the purchasing of housing. In their lack of wisdom, because I won't call it wisdom, the government chose to sell off the Land Titles Office. And yet, they still keep charging people for this so-called stamp duty. The purpose of the stamp duty in its original form was to make sure your title was legitimate. And then nobody would be able to challenge it because you had the legitimate title. Now it's been sold off. It won't be too long before these private companies that own or that have invested into the Land Titles Office, they will be expecting some money from somewhere. What they will be expecting, I don't know. What their fees are they're going to charge, I don't know. But we are going along the American model. And in the United States of America, when you get your land title, you've got to insure it so that somebody else can't come along and grab hold of your land and say, hey, it's mine. They can bankrupt you through the court system in the United States. Are we going to get the same thing here? I certainly hope not. The stamp duty on a property ought to be the effective cost of examination of the title to make sure that paperwork is correct, and that's it. And if you want that to be in the place, you'll need to vote for me in March 2023. Milton Kane. I will be on the ballot paper for the upper house as an independent.